Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurudeva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. In Sanskrit, the word for family is sambandha. Sam means well. Bandha has two meanings. Bandha can mean bonding or bondage or bound. So well bound. Bandha can also mean connected. So well connected. Those people who have children, who have family, and they don't have the vision for why a child, a family is in their life, then they're called sambandha. They're bound to more worldliness. And the best test of that is attachment. But those people who have a vision that my child, my family is in my life, not to test me, but to train me. See, there's a big difference between saying, Sheila tests me all the time, or Sheila trains me all the time, correct? In English, they're the same, but what it emotes is quite different. That vision that our only responsibility is to be independently joyous. That Sanatana Dharma, that unchanging responsibility. If we are clear about this vision, if we've internalized this vision, then being a spiritual parent is natural. But without this vision, we become a worldly parent. Last year when we organized this retreat, the sub-theme was the vision of happiness. And we took up a dialogue between a mother and a son from our Shastras. And the famous mother-son dialogue, which we don't tune into too much, is between Mother Sita and Hanumanji. When Hanumanji meets Mother Sita in Lanka, he calls her Janani. He calls her mother. And from that simple word, we come to understand that being a parent is not just biological. Mother Sita is not the biological mother of Hanumanji. Because if you only think on biological terms, our love is very small. And then she calls him Suta, son. And when he returns to Bhagavan Rama, then Bhagavan Rama starts to call him Suta also, son. When Hanumanji meets Mother Sita, she's so overwhelmed in love that she tells Hanumanji, I will give you the Ashta Siddhi, which we interpret as the 8 physical powers, or 8 phenomenal powers. And I've taught Hanuman Chalisa in almost all of your centers, so you know what I'm referring to. But in last year's retreat, we took the 8 phenomenal powers and we turned them into 8 parental powers. 8 parental powers, okay? And I'm only going to read these for you. I'm not going to explain them for you because These talks were recorded, they're being processed, and they will be uploaded for everyone to listen to and watch soon. But here's what the 8 parental powers are. And we studied these in reverse order because I feel they make more sense that way. The first parental power is called Vashitva. Vashitva means to control. We can only control by love. When we love someone, they want to be controlled by us. The next parental power is Ishitvam. Ishitvam is to rule over others. Vashitvam is bottom up, Ishitvam is top down. We can rule over others by leadership. By leadership. When I spoke in Cleveland on Wednesday, and I told everyone leadership is the most misunderstood word, we always think of leadership in reference to others. But real leadership is not in reference to others, it's only in reference to oneself. The third parental power is called prakamya. Prakamya means to access. To access whatever you want to access, specifically places. Okay, you want to be accessible there, you want to gain access to that. And this is only possible by adaptability. Adaptability. You become accessible by adapting. If you're always an angry person, then nobody wants to be close to you. Number 4 is prapti. Prapti means to gain. Hanumanji could gain whatever he wanted. And as parents, we can gain by effort. Swami Tejamananda always shares, there's no substitute to hard work. You cannot get anything real without working hard. If you lose weight fast, what's going to happen next? You're going to gain that same weight fast too. If you make money fast, you lose money fast by effort. Number 5 is garima. Garima means to be heavy. And if you remember that nobody could lift Hanumanji's tail, as an example, Bhima couldn't lift Hanumanji's tail. This parental power, how to be heavy? By confidence. A confident parent creates confident families. But if you lack confidence, it naturally is going to be observed and invoked by your family. I see that in our Vedanta courses. Since 2007, I was reflecting this year that I would have completed the Vedanta course 10 years ago. Yesterday, someone called me uncle. And then we played freeze tag and I ran way faster than him. So I still knew that I wasn't an uncle yet. So Guruji taught the course in 07, that finished in 07, then Swami Advaitananda, then Swami Advayananda, then Swami Bodhatmananda. And I see that students from those Vedanta courses, they become like their guru, their acharya. I've seen that because I've got to see many students in many courses, mannerisms, how they speak, when they pause, what they focus on. It's very interesting to see how a confident acharya creates confident shishyas. Number 6 is laghima. Laghima means to be light. Hanumanji was jumping from building to building to building in Lanka without crushing them. He needed them to be vertical so that they can all burn the next buildings. As a parent, the parental power, how to be light? By joy. When you are joyous, you still take everything seriously, but you don't take anything personally. Quite different. By joy. When the heart is full, the stomach is full. Secret to losing weight too. When the heart is full, you don't need as much stuff. Secret to saving money. Who said Advaita Vedanta wasn't practical? This is the most practical subject. Dieting doesn't work. Being happy does work. Number 7 is Mahima. Mahima means to be immense. Hanumanji made himself as immense as a mountain. And this is a parental power by attitude. You become immense. You become present. Your presence is felt by attitude. And though I've never met Swami Chinmaya physically, lots of people in Flint have, you can ask them about how when he would come into any room, people would feel like there's a royal person there. I remember one person in Flint telling me the day Swami Chinmaya walked into their community changed forever. And it was his attitude. We can, we must, we will. And finally is Anima. Anima means to be small. Like an Anu. Anu means atom. And as a parent, what is the only way we can manifest Anima? It is by humility. By humility. Swami Tejamayana shared many times that so many arguments could be inhibited or reconciled by saying, I'm right. By saying, I'm sorry. By admitting one's mistakes, so much could change. And you know, so many people are couples in our classes. Sometimes, even if you're right, the right thing to do is say that you're not right. And I'm not saying this in this passive-aggressive husband-wife model. I'm actually saying that you may be right, but if that person, for their benefit and your benefit, if you have to say that they're right, then say it. That's living Vedanta. So last year we studied the Ashta Siddhi. Now Mother Sita didn't just give him the Ashta Siddhi. What else did she give him? The Navanidhi. Ashta Siddhi Navanidhi ke Data. She gave him the Navanidhi, which are known as the 9 precious jewels in the universe. Like Padma, Makara, emerald, rubies, sapphires, etc. So imagine Mother Sita giving Hanumanji these 9 precious jewels. What will he do with them? He only had room for Lord Rama's ring in his mouth. How will he put all those jewels in his mouth and in his ear and in his tails? That Navanidhi is called Navada Bhakti. The 9 forms of devotion that Prahlad tells essentially his father. You see, last year we studied a beautiful dialogue between a mother and a son who love each other. This year we studied the dialogue between a son and his father. And his son loves his father, but his father does not love his son. His father tried to kill him many times with other family members. As we began our retreat this year, that was one point we made, is that if you want to understand how to be a parent, you should ask a child. You should ask others. That's what empathy is. So we began this year's retreat focusing on the Navanidhi, and I'm going to give these to you too, in brief today, but in all of the centers that I visit, we'll do satsangs on these. Okay, so this can be more clear. At the bottom, here's how we begin being a spiritual parent rather than a worldly parent. To be connected rather than to be bound. And I always remember, I'd once gone to Flint, Michigan, and I was at their ashram, and I was reading the poster they had created for my visit there, and they had written, Acharya Vivekji has been coming to Flint for many years. He's developed great bondage with all the people here. Instead of writing, he's developed great bonds with the people, developed great bondage with all of the members there. There's no bondage, okay? We're connected, not bound. We start with Shravana. Shravana means to listen. Now, as parents, I'm only focusing on the parental part, is to listen without judgment. To listen without judgment is what Shravana is. And the way to practice this, because this retreat is very much about tactile points, what to practice, sadhanas, to have quality time with your kids, with your family, every day, every week, every month. At our Understanding Marriage Retreat in Portland that we're going to be organizing soon, I often tell couples to go on dates. Regardless of how long they've been married, they should go on date night. So here I tell families to go on dates also. We always think of dates as being romantic and expensive, but dating means getting to know another person. You can date yourself. So yesterday we watched a really wonderful movie. You know what movie we watched yesterday? Lion King. How many of you have seen Lion King? You know, you meet less and less people who've seen Lion King, and it's so good. And one girl told her mother that, come sit with me, we have to go on a date. They're watching the movie together. It was so wonderful to see that young girl ask her mother to come sit with her. Sit with her. So quality time. After we learn to listen without judgment, we get to kirtana. Kirtana means to speak. And that is to speak without motive. Speak without motive. So many times when couples or families speak, they always speak with an agenda, isn't it? You speak to your child in such a way as to manipulate them to make this decision. You can study in any program you want, but being an engineer is the best. That's how we speak to our kids, with this motive. But real kirtana is not to speak with a motive. Because think, every parent and every child is different. They have a different vasana combination. So let them exhaust it in the best way. You can still hear me and see me? Okay. Next is smarana. Smarana means to think. To think. And that is to think without regret. Think without regret. Many times when we think of our families, we think about the mistakes that they've made, and so it taints the present. But if you think without regret, then what happens is that what they did is what they did, but they've grown out of that. But if you keep thinking with regret, you never let them grow out of that. All of the kids in the room, all of us have been kids. You never made mistakes. You never hurt your parents. Right? So we have to think without regret. And so, I'm sorry, I didn't give you the practice point for kirtana. Here's your practice point, your tactile point for kirtana. Many parents, and I see this sometimes more with Indian parents, are passively aggressive. We have this passive aggressiveness to us. So the tactile point here is to be actively calm. Instead of being passive, be active. Instead of being aggressive, be calm. Be actively calm. Whatever is happening, be calm. Your practice or your tactile point for smarana, that is to think without regret, whenever you think of a mistake or a fault or a weakness that your family is committed, your friends have committed, try to purge that thought by thinking about how much they've grown. If you think about how much your family or your child has grown, then that mistake helped them grow. If we all think about ourselves, we are who we are today because of our past, no? That's the perfection of Bhagwan's direction. Number four is seva. In actual Bhagavatam, it's called Pada Sevanam. I'm referring to this just as seva. It means to serve. To serve without complaint. To serve without complaint. If you serve, you are not allowed to complain. I'm specifically looking at everyone in Cleveland right now, that if you serve Chinmaya Mission Cleveland, you are not allowed to complain. Because if you're serving, you have no rights, you only have responsibilities. And if you focus on rights, you're like certain presidents, where everyone's focusing on the right to pursue happiness, the right to bear arms, the right to this, the right to that. But we are focusing on not being worldly, but to be spiritual. It's about responsibilities. Okay? And your practice for seva, walk for the cause. Walk for the cause. In Toronto and in Ontario, Canada probably, everyone is quite active when it comes to breast cancer awareness in October. So they have lots of walks for breast cancer awareness. See, if you're serving, that means you're connected to the cause. If you weren't serving, you wouldn't be connected to the cause, correct? When you walk for the cause, that means right now you're disturbed, you're agitated. What should you do? Go for a walk. When you go for a walk, you begin to see the bigger picture again. If you're complaining, you stop seeing the bigger picture. And so what do you need to do? Step away. Go for a walk. Breathe. Take a shower. Do something where you get to see the bigger picture again. Okay? Walk for the cause. Number 5 is archana. Now, I love how people interpret archana. What does archana mean? Going inside the sanctum sanctorum, the pujari asks for your gotra. You have no idea what your gotra is, so you feel bad. He also feels, keeps pressuring you. Tell us your gotra. And then we go in there for blessings, but just come out feeling insecure. Archana means worship. Archana means worship. It's when your lifestyle revolves around what you're worshiping, not just saying some mantras and offering some flowers. Your lifestyle revolves around that cause. Now, parentally, this means to worship without. Why do we go to the mandir? Why do we offer do puja? We do it for prasad, isn't it? What kind of prasad is there going to be? We offer the best naivedya because we know Bhagwan's not going to eat it and we're going to get it back. You should worship without expectation. Your lifestyle should revolve around your kids, your family, your friends, without expectation. And here is your practice point, your sadhana. Use what you own. Use what you own. All of the people in Fairfield, when you were growing up in Bharat, many of you did, how long did you use a pencil that you got? You used it till it was just the eraser, and that eraser you still kept just for erasing, correct? Did your parents ever allow you to waste food? Right? You'll leave the house before you have to waste that food. See, if you use what you own, you come to enjoy and be grateful for what you have, so your expectations become less. But if you don't use what you own, you're always expecting what you don't own. Use what you own. And if we all think about our lives, what don't we have that we need. It is nothing material. It is only spiritual. Everyone's with me? Okay. When I speak to all of you, I ask you to remember, because only if you remember can you practice. Remembering and reading are different. So now I want you to all stop reading your notes and I want you to look at me. And I'm going to ask you some questions and you can yell it out as a center. Okay? There's lots of you in Cleveland and Fairfield. The chances of things being right is much more. In smaller centers, it's much less. So looking at me, okay? And this is being recorded. I'm going to review the videotape to see who is cheating afterwards. What is the third step in being a spiritual parent? It is smarana, to think. Now, to think without regret. And the practice for that is to remember how much your child has grown. Number 3. Number 5. Archana. To worship. And that is to worship without expectation. And the practice for that is use what you own. Number 2, that is kirtana. Kirtana is to speak without motive. And the practice for that is speak without motive. I forgot what that is. I'm looking. Be actively calm. Number 4, I did do? No. Number 4, I've not done, okay? And that is seva. To serve. And it is to serve without complaint. And the practice for that is to walk for the cause. And this all began with shravana. Shravana is to listen. And that is to listen without judgment. Everyone's with me? Okay. I'm going to give you one more. Even though there's 9, another satsang, I'll give you the last 3. But this is the last verb, okay? I've given you 5 verbs. I'm giving you the last verb. The last verb is vandana. Vandana. Vandana means to love. That is to love without selfishness. To love without selfishness. Selfishness is when we are living from our perspective. But if you're loving, like empathy, you're not just living from your perspective, but you're living from the perspective of your child, of the cause. So to love without selfishness. And you know what the practice for this is? The sadhana. Exercise. Why is it exercise? Because you have to love yourself to be able to look after other people, correct? You have to be healthy if you want to do all of this for your children. But if you're not healthy, you won't be able to help them. Sheila and I will be in Brooklyn on April 7th for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction this year. So Neil Young, who is a Canadian artist, he's going to be speaking about Pearl Jam. And I always remember one line from Neil Young. He says, "It's better to burn out than fade away." I disagree with Neil Young. Even though he's Canadian, I still disagree with Neil Young because that's a very rock and roll attitude. It is not better to burn out than fade away. We should be Shreya parents and not Preya parents. Shreya parents are parents long-term. Preya parents are parents short-term. Yesterday, as part of our retreat, we all played freeze tag for an hour. And after that, I asked everyone, so what did you learn from playing outside? You know what all the parents said? What bad shape we're in. They realized that they don't exercise enough. Everyone's panting. People were lying down on the ground, miserable. And so I told them that if you want to give love, you have to first love yourself. And that's by exercise. Okay? If we can practice these 6 verbs, we will grow up from being ordinary parents to being extraordinary parents. The remaining 3 parts to these 9 jewels, I will share with you another time when such an opportunity exists. Okay? We're going to formally shift to our Ramayana now. Maybe we shouldn't. We only have a little bit of time. I love Ramayana though. Yeah, so we're going to do it. Okay? It's daylight savings time. It's a good time to finish Balakanda. Okay. Finish it formally. Let me just get my Ramayana. Okay. Okay. I'm going to begin recording and we will chant Om once. Narayana. Parashurama's bow has now been transferred to Bhagwan Rama. And Parashurama leaves that assembly. Raja Janaka tells his ministers to go to Raja Dasharatha and invite all of them to Mithila to celebrate the Vivaha of Bhagwan Rama and Mother Sita. With the breaking of the bow, that was their marriage. And we spent a lot of time studying that. Now, whatever else happens is from a karma perspective, it is for the people. In our modern terms, it would be a reception. After the wedding, there is the reception. I'm on page 248 in my book. I'm on verse 361. Verse 361. I'm reading the first and second line of the Sorta. This is the last shloka or writing in Balakanda. Siya Raghuvira Vivahu Je Saprema Gavahi Sunahi Tina Kahu Sada Uchahu Mangalayatana Rama Jasu, which means Siya Raghuvara Vivaha, that marriage between Mother Sita and Bhagwan Rama, those who sing Gavahi, Sunahi, those who listen to this with Saprema, not just Prema, Saprema. Saprema means more internal love, not a worldly love. Tinakahu Sada Uchahu, those people shall ever rejoice, be happy. Mangalayatana Rama Jasu, because Sri Rama is the abode, the Dhamma of Mangala. Now I love how the last shloka in Balakanda connects perfectly to the first shloka in Balakanda. In that first shloka I told you why we're going to spend 5 years. We're going to spend 100 classes trying to understand just the first verse. And the purpose of Ramayana is Mangala. Mangala means egolessness. And you see in Balakanda when Mother Sita marries Bhagwan Rama, that marriage should happen in our hearts. We should become more Bhagwan oriented and less worldly oriented. I'll give you some more details of what happened, and then I'll explain some more significance. Bhari bhuvana raha uchahu rama vivahu ba sabahi kaha. It's shared that during their actual vivaha, then everyone in this universe was saying Bhagwan Rama and Mother Sita are now married, are now married, are now married. And everyone was saying this to everyone. The joy that had merged there radiated endlessly. I was at the Cleveland Cavaliers game on Monday, and I was noticing the tattoo that LeBron James has on his right arm, on his muscle, on the inside of his bicep. And that tattoo says, "Echoes to eternity." And that is a line from, I believe, Marcus Aurelius, who says, what we do in life echoes in eternity. What we do in life echoes in eternity. When I think of every person saying to every person that this marriage has happened, the idea is that when someone gets enlightened, when someone invokes or gets that marriage of joy in their hearts, then that radiates to all. You can't stop that from happening. When this marriage was taking place, after it had taken place, and Raja Janaka had come to Mithila, so many people came with him. The whole city came with him. And Bhagwan Rama greeted every person that had come. His father, the ministers, the charioteers, the people looking after those horses, everyone he greeted in a most formal and loving way. And not just them, even all of the devatas that had disguised themselves to be at his vivaha, he greeted every one of them too. That's where our custom at a reception, there's a greeting line, that started from Ramayana. See how everything is traced to this. He greeted all of those beings also. And it's shared, Goswamiji shares that nobody was able to understand the love of Bhagwan Rama and Mother Sita. He says, I'm not going to even try to describe the love between Bhagwan Rama and Mother Sita, that it's incomparable. So everyone is invited to Mithila. The reception happens. Everyone is talking about it. Bhagwan Rama is greeting everyone. This love between them is unprecedented. And there's so much love that Rishi Vishwamitra and Rishi Vashishta say, we should have more marriages. So after Bhagwan Rama gets married, he's looking around at Bhagwan Rama's brothers and they see Bharata's there. And though Bharata's looking at Bhagwan Rama, they say he should get married too. So, Raja Janaka has a brother. His brother's name is Kushaketu. Kushaketu. And Kushaketu has two daughters. So the elder daughter of Kushaketu, her name is Mandavi. Mandavi is married to Bharata. Okay, so you have Rama and Sita, Bharata and Mandavi. So Bharata is married also. And then they look down the line and they see Sri Lakshmana. He's also looking at Sri Rama, but they're all thinking he should get married too. So, all of the parents in the room, you have this bhava of wanting your kids to get married. That's come from Ramayana also. So they see that Raja Janaka, daughter's mother Sita, who also has a younger sister, and her name is Urmila. Urmila gets married to Sri Lakshmana. That's her third couple. Then they go down the line and Shatrugna's there. And he's also looking at Bhagwan Rama, but the same thing. Not enough marriages. We need more marriages. So they go back to Kushaketu. His daughter is Urmila, and she has a younger sister. Not Urmila, I'm sorry, Mandavi. And she has a younger sister. Her name is Shrutakirti. Shrutakirti. So Shrutakirti gets married to Shatrugna. So now a lot of vivaha has taken place. Now, what does this mean for us? And that's what's so great about this katha. Just hearing the katha brings so much joy. But if you can understand the Vedanta and all of this, it's transformative. When Bhagwan Rama and Mother Sita get married, it is the celebration of Advaita. Mother Sita, there's much symbolism. Mother Sita is interpreted as Bhakti and Bhagwan Rama's Jnana. When Bhakti and Jnana merge, or Jnana and Bhakti merge, that's Advaita. Oneness. Mother Sita is known as Shanti, Bhagwan Rama is known as Ananda. When peace and joy, or joy and peace merge, that is the celebration of Advaita. Bhagwan Rama greets all of the people that come to his vivaha. He greets them by making them feel happier. The closer you move to joy, the closer you move to Advaita, you feel like you're being greeted, like being in satsang. The joy of the devatas, when Bhagwan Rama meets all of the devatas also, he's saying all of the devatas represent the elements, Vayu and Agni and all of that. He greets all of them that they depend on him. He does not depend on them. That again is Advaita. And the last point here, remember I consciously told you that Goswamiji is unable to describe the love between Mother Sita and Bhagwan Rama because it's infinite. Words are finite. Feelings are finite. In Kena Upanishad, the Rishi says, where the speech and mind cannot go and they come back. Oneness is incomparable. Dvaita is highly comparable, but Advaita is incomparable. So the completion of Balakanda is celebration. I told you I think there's like 52 pages of celebration that is shared. And that celebration is really enlightenment, which is why Ramayana is communicated in the first place. Mangala. Ramayana moves in waves. Please try to pay more attention to this. There are 7 cantos or 7 chapters or 7 portions of Ramayana, and it literally moves in a wave. You see, Balakanda is a joyous kanda. Ayodhya kanda, it's not going to be. And then each kanda goes like that. And so Ramayana is very much like our lives. We have high times and we have low times. And throughout Ramayana, the key point is Rama. All revolves around Rama, which is joy. So the high times and the low times can be happening in the context, but the content should not be shaken from Rama. So as we shift to the next kanda, which we'll do next week, this is not going to be a happy kanda. But then the happiness will come back. But this happiness I'm talking about is a dependent happiness. But we are focusing on the Vedanta in Ramayana, on the independent happiness. And we will continue studying. And Goswamiji writes, Iti Srimad Ramacharita Manase Sakala Kali Kali Kalusha Vidvamsane Pratama Sopanaha Samaptaha, which means, thus Srimad Ramayana, which is the best cure to the disease of Kali, the best weapon against the enemy of Kali. Kali is distraction, Kali is selfishness, Kali is ego. Pratama Sopanaha Samaptaha. This Sopanaha, this means ladder, but this ladder is going in to the lake, into this ocean of joy.